Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's up, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for your favorite podcast, the SHW podcast. This is our wrestling. I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield alongside the great Gerard Bonner and the beautiful Diana Michelle. We are V3, and we are back this week. And we've got a big show, SHW54, coming up next Friday, 1 week from tonight. And we've got a big card to preview. And before we get into all that, I do want to check with you guys, see how your week's been. But I will say that coming off of last week was such a roller coaster of emotions because last Wednesday we were together. We had a ton of fun at AEW here in town. And then we also found out about Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt and them passing away. And it was so sad. So we went from a high to a low. And then to AEW All In, which was a spectacle, and it was huge, to another high, and it was just a crazy week. But how are you guys doing, having dealt with all that stuff?
It has been a weird week. I mean, like you said, we were all high and happy and just had a great time at AEW and got to do some really special things that night. And then to come off the news with Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt and we'll get into that, I'm sure, but gosh, I mean, history was made this past weekend, right? I mean, I just finished watching everything back because I had to, I had things going on this weekend, but I just got finished watching everything back, and oh my gosh, just so many different moments that we'll dedicate a show to. Maybe right now, I know we got to do our pre-show. We'll dedicate some time to that, but it's been a week. It's been a crazy week.
I mean, you said it. It has been an absolutely crazy week, a ton of emotions, and it's hard to hit any one specific one because they all had their different set of emotions. But we're here and we're back together. And so that's always a highlight of the week. And for those who don't know, like, this isn't an act. It's not a game. Like, we really love each other. We really love hanging out with each other. We really talk to each other all the time. I mean, it is a thing. So
to the point,
always
GB,
a highlight.
To the point, GB, where sometimes we're on the same wavelength, and the fact we're all wearing 80s band shirts somehow.
Like, we didn't discuss our attire for the week, which we usually never do.
It just happens.
It just
happens. I haven't worn this shirt in forever. I threw it on to go to the gym.
Yeah, it's been a while since I put this one on. So it just, it's just happening.
There you go. But I tell you what, it's usually we have to wait a full month before we get to the next show to see each other in person. But and we won't go too much in depth about last week, but we did get to see each other. A little bonus treat in the middle of the month, going to see AEW Dynamite live, and then they taped Collision directly after that. And big shout out to our guy Tony Schiavone. Got to visit with him a little bit, and it was just a ton of fun. So also shout out to Kyle, who you guys know as our lighting guy, one of our production guys at SHW, got to hang with us. And of course, Owen, Diana's son, Owen, tagged along too. So I just had a blast.
Not Owen Knight, but
right. That was
the other Owen in my life.
Oh boy.
Every time I say that, I'm thinking, y'all know it's my kid, right?
Yeah. Hilarious.
I mean, I love to hang out with Owen Knight at a show, but
that's hilarious.
It didn't happen this time. So.
Hilarious.
But that was fun. I mean, any kind of again, we don't have to go into too many details, but any kind of big things that stick out to you guys just about getting together and seeing AEW live. It's always kind of fun. But we've seen a handful of shows for AEW, whether it was in Jacksonville or here in the Atlanta area. So anything really stand out to you guys?
Well, this was, I think, the second time we all three got to be together. Is that right? The first one was...
We've always kind of gone in, it's either me and Diana or me and Gerard or Gerard, Diana, or something like that.
I feel like it's the third time, though.
Yeah. That we were together at the show together.
Was it the third time?
We went to the one, the Big Boom. We went to the Big Boom show.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think you and Brandon went.
Because I think you were supposed to go. That's what happened. Yeah. You were supposed to go and you couldn't go. Yeah. Got it. So it was
this was the second time we got together. And I hate we didn't get to do the podcast from South Arena, but
Here's the thing.
We were really eating it up ourselves, y'all.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing, and to the listeners and viewers out there, it was discussed, and we were trying to think of what we could do from the arena.
It was attempted.
Yeah, but so much was going on, and you know, sometimes you get to a point where it's kind of like people talk about with their phones. You know, everybody's wanting to film everything and take pictures. Sometimes you just got to step back and just take it in and enjoy the experience. And we got to have a ton of fun and do some cool have some cool experiences that
I'm not sure what I should say or not say, but
I'll help us.
Thank you.
One of the coolest things that happened, and it really did surprise me and I think all of us, is, you know, there were people who kept coming up to us and they kept talking about how much they enjoy our commentary work, our announcing work, the podcast, all of those things. And I think we've grown accustomed to seeing the people that we know from Southern Honor who are always so kind and accommodating. But these were all people we've never seen before.
Right.
Never, ever. And so, you know, I've never seen them at a show. They may have caught us on IWTV. They may be watching us now. And so those kinds of moments from outside the arena, inside the arena, they were very, very humbling moments.
Surreal,
because we were kind of incognito, to be perfectly honest with you. We were just kind of chilling in the cut. You know, we were not, there was no spotlight, you know, there were no announcements that we were there. But, you know, for people to literally find us and share those kind words, that was really indicative of the kind of experience that it was. So thank you guys, for everyone who's watching and who's paying attention. We really appreciate hearing from you because, you know, we're kind of in a bubble. We do what we do. But to hear it is really special. So thank you guys.
Right.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out Corey Tatum, Wrestling Snapshots. We got to see him there, and then also Mike and Cheyenne got to run into them as well.
And we got to hang out with the Forever Champ, AC Mac, Rico.
That's right.
They were there.
That's right.
It was great stuff.
Yeah,
great.
And
stuff.
that just goes back to when we had Mac on the show right after he was, I guess, you know, leaving the wrestling world. He might be done wrestling in the ring, but he said he was like, I'll still be around. I'll still be at shows. And sure enough, before the show even started, we saw him walking by. Like, yeah, Mac, it's back.
It's so funny. I always call him the champ. Like I had to remind myself afterwards. Oh, he's retired, but he's the forever champ.
I like that, the forever champ.
There it is.
I love it. Well, speaking of champs, let's get into this big card we have for SHW54, which is going to feature a bunch of championship matches. So I'm not even sure where to start. Let's start with Ashton Starr and Najicism. So Najicism, if you'll recall, at the Rumblejack, which, by the way, the Rumblejack is available on IWTV. So if you haven't watched it yet, and if you weren't there live, or if you were there live, go back and watch it so you can hear our commentary. And it was an amazing show. We always know the Rumblejack's going to be a shocking, kind of like unexpected things are going to happen. And sure enough, that's exactly how it went. But Najicism leading up to it was claiming, you know, he hadn't been invited and there's a conspiracy against him and all this stuff. Haven't been invited, yet you get the prime spot in the Rumblejack. You come in with that final entry. And anyways, he went right after Owen Knight, which made sense because Owen had turned on him during that tag team title match a few months back. And in the fray, I guess he got tangled up with Ashton Starr. He ended up eliminating Ashton Starr from the match. And so we're going to see Ashton try to get a little bit of revenge for that, I guess, with a one-on-one matchup. And I don't know. How do we feel about this? Now, going into it, I will say real quick, Ashton, if you've been following him on social media, Twitter specifically, or X, I should say, whatever it's called now, X is going to give it to you. But
nice.
What?
I'm impressed.
Anyways, Ashton has been vying for a shot at the IWTV World Championship.
Yes.
Been calling out Cruel and been calling out the other guy they're claiming is champion, but we know Cruel's the world champ. But anyways, so this match, Ashton, Najicism, your thoughts?
Najis he's got a little chip on his shoulder, right?
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Of course he was going after Owen. Of course he was. And Ashton, he was a little preoccupied with moving Mike got rid of him.
Right.
And whatever was going on after that, it was crazy. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. And I dare you to be able to keep up with everything. It ain't happening. You might want to watch it a few times just to see what all was going on. But this match, Ashton he's impressive all by himself. He's putting in the work in the gym. He is a high flyer. He does things that nobody could even imagine to do. And then you got Naja, who is just Naja. You know, he does what only Naja can do. These two clashing is interesting. I don't know how to call it. I'm not going to try, but Ashton's got to focus. I don't know what Naja's got, brewing in his brain, what he's going for, but Ashton's got to focus. So I'm not going to say who's going to win or who's not going to win, but I just lean.
Lean with it, rock with it.
Just going to lean with it.
2 for 2. Very nice. Very nice.
We're on a
Very
roll.
nice. I see.
I'm telling you.
Here's what's interesting to me about this one. Both of them are pretty much, as you mentioned, Diana, preoccupied with other people right now. Naja very much still has the Owen Knight chip on his shoulder. Ashton's got this whole movie Mike stalker-ish thing happening. And so for these two to collide gets very interesting, because with them both having a bit of an edge to them right now, this is going to create a very interesting match scenario. Right. Naja is believing that there's a conspiracy, which there's a part of me that's a little disappointed in that. I always thought, he calls himself the greatest, the baddest, the best. That doesn't come with conspiracies. Be that as it may, he needs this win. Ashton needs this win. I wonder if, Owen will be anywhere lurking, Movie Mike will be anywhere lurking, or if either of them are even caring about this at this point. Maybe they both want the other two to beat these guys up. If Owen and if Ashton and Naja beat each other to a pulp, then that makes it easier for Owen and Movie Mike. Who knows? What I do know is it's a match I didn't know I needed that I'm glad we're getting, because it's going to be extremely athletic.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. And you just nailed it right there. You said a match you didn't know you needed, but we're glad we're getting. On that same note, the Kenway and Kyle Matthews. Okay. I had that same thought when that match was announced. A match I never really thought about happening. And then I saw it on paper and I went, whoa, okay, hold up a second. This is going to be a good one. Yeah. So we just saw Kyle return. He was a surprise return at the Rumble Jack when Chip Day had the open challenge for his first title defense with the JTS Legacy Championship. There's another JTS Legacy Championship match coming up. We'll talk about that here in a minute. You mentioned Owen Knight. We'll get there here in a few minutes. But Kyle Matthews, surprise return. You always know Kyle and Chip are going to just tear the house down, and they did exactly that. However, Chip finally came out on top, defeated Kyle Matthews, retained the title. But Kyle, still impressive showing. We've been saying that the Kenways looked impressive ever since he showed up in SHW. Had a few little snags along the way. But these two going one-on-one, that's going to be good, man. It's going to be real good. I can't wait.
Talk about a chip on the shoulder. They both literally have a chip on their shoulder. Literally.
A chip named Chip Day.
A bad boy Chip Day. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
More specifically, yes.
Specifically, let's just get real down to it. To see Kyle and Chip shake hands after that match, that did my heart good. It really did. I don't see them getting back together doing nothing, but it did my heart good. They had respect for each other. It was a great match. Chip did finally come out on top against Kyle. Kenway coming to the Rumble Jack. Was it me, or was he a little not quite himself?
So he was doing some underhanded tactics that we had not seen him use to that point.
Right.
And he went after Kyle and Chip in that match. So that
ugly. It was ugly. So I have my feelings about this, but I won't share them right now.
No. Maybe save it for the pre-show, the live pre-show next week, because we'll be live and anything can happen.
We can go face to face with on that one.
We know how those go. Well, definitely, I think this is going to be another fantastic can't miss match. Technically, both of
Yes.
these guys are extremely sound. We know the history of a Kyle Matthews, and we have learned a lot about the Kenway this calendar year, and
Yes.
we've been impressed with what we've seen in the ring. Now, what's intriguing is all of this time, the JTS champion told us that there was this other side to the Kenway and that the Kenway has had us fooled all this time. And we really started to see that during the Rumble Jack, where we saw low blows and just, moves that we had not seen from someone who had claimed to want to be so honorable. I don't know if this is how he is responding after having lost the finals of the JTS Legacy Tournament. And I wonder if he feels like going through Kyle Matthews could perhaps get him back into the line of fire with Chip Day, potentially for that championship. Kyle Matthews, of course, would love a rematch again because they had a great impromptu match to kick off Rumble Jack, which I thought was just incredible. So another one, and I'll tell you in the words of DJ Khaled, another one. What's so intriguing to me is sometimes people will think the show between two big shows would be a throwaway, right? So we're coming out of Rumble Jack, going into Anniversary. No. This show is as big as any other show we've ever done, just with these two matches alone. And we're still
pay
going through
attention.
the card. It's going to be crazy.
You got to pay attention.
See,
it's going to be fire.
I agree, GB, and that seems to normally be the case if you look back through history when you have two massive shows kind of near each other. Those ones in the middle, like you said, just kind of like filler shows.
That's the twists and the turns. That's where the twists and turns come.
But here's the thing. In SHW, that's never been the case.
Never, ever.
Because it's always been August is Rumble Jack, October is the anniversary show still here. And we always have a killer show in between. That's just how we do it in SHW, man. But yeah, something we found out about this week, another match that got added to the card, Danny J returning to the ring in singles action against the returning Heather Monroe. It's been a little while since we've seen Heather Monroe here in SHW, so I am excited for this one. It's going to be good.
Last time we saw Heather, she was fighting Jazzy.
I believe that's correct.
Is that right? Jazzy Yang?
I think that's right.
She gave up the match to her?
Still Here 4.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think so.
I'm counting on the Professor GB.
Yes. No, that is right. That is right.
It's been a while.
We had all the lead into that match.
That's right.
So yeah, it was then. That was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a better Heather outcome this time. But it is Danny, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
The girls are back. So it's gonna be good. I'm excited about it either way. Heather's amazing, y'all. Heather's amazing. Danny's amazing. Heather's amazing. Them together, it's just gonna be fire.
It's gonna be really, really good. We haven't seen Heather in almost a year, and the story is she is traveled again to really try to better her craft. And we know the power of Chicago. Chicago right now is housing a lot of AEW this weekend. People are going all out and the like. And I think it's a big statement for Heather to take what she's learned in the last year and to bring it back into the doors of SHW. And this time to go after what many have deemed kind of the leader of the women's division, that would be Danny Jordan. Women come throughout all of the country here to SHW to see if they measure up. And so that's what is going to happen next week. It should be very intriguing. Danny's last match here, of course, was against Jada Stone, and that was a banger.
Let's do that again.
I'm telling you, run that back.
Yes.
So Heather Monroe, this is going to be a really, really good one. You got to be there for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen.
I just love her whole attitude in the ring, her whole aura about herself. And I mean, the confidence that she has and the ability to bring it.
Yeah. And they're not strangers to each other. They've certainly battled in other places.
And
so they've traded victories and the like. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be a good one.
And, I'm not trying to say anything about any other promotion, but I will say that I have heard whisperings from people on certain rosters that say when they do have matches at SHW, they tend to go a little harder. They tend to try to show out a little bit more because they know that SHW is just a cut above the rest. I'm just being honest.
Absolutely. It is what it is.
Just stating facts, folks.
It is what it is.
Anyways, unbiased journalism here, folks. All right. Here's another interesting graphic we saw posted last week. Cyrus the Destroyer. It wasn't a match graphic. It was just a poster of Cyrus, and it said, "We'll find out what's next for Cyrus the Destroyer." What in the world could this possibly mean? What I do know is that 2 shows ago, the show ended with a face-to-face, Cyrus and the Atrocity Cruel, and then the Rumblejack match itself started with those 2 guys as 1 and 2, going one-on-one in that opening of the Rumblejack. And, of course, they both ended up getting eliminated throughout the match.
Weasels.
But I'm just saying is when we find out what's next for Cyrus, could it be he's got his eye on that IWTV World Championship?
I would love to see that.
I mean, I don't know. What do we think?
That would be a huge, huge match. I would love to see that. I mean, the outcome would be great either way, but it'd have to be the last match of the night. But
because they'll tear the ring down.
It would tear the ring down.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gone at it hard so many times, but that would be an amazing match. Really. I mean, you've got Cyrus from coming back and forth from Japan, doing his thing. You got Cruel, who's gone all over the place, who is IWTV champion. Don't care what nobody says. But for them to clash for that title, either one I'd be behind. Dang.
Yeah, you know, I the sky's the limit. Who knows what could be next for Cyrus? I don't think that there are a lot of people that are lining up to be next for Cyrus, but I think Cyrus kind of gets to pick what he wants. And there's some interesting options out there. You know, I don't want to stir the pot too much, far be it from me.
I'm hungry.
I was like, come on, GB, that's what you do. Come on, man.
We made a reference earlier to Still Here 4, and Still Here 4 saw Cyrus in a coffin/casket match with the guy
Last
who
man
currently
standing.
last man standing.
It just happened to feature a casket.
It featured a casket, right? Last man standing match against the man who currently holds the SHW championship,
which he defeated.
So there are multiple options here in terms of titles. And that's one thing he hasn't done much of here at SHW. It's been focused on championships. If he decides to focus on a title, good luck to whoever is in his crosshairs.
Well, he's been squatting gnats left and right. So maybe it's time to...
You know, gone are the days of his exotic youth. At this particular point, he's interested possibly in championships.
Maybe.
Who knows? We have no idea what he's interested in.
Why not?
You know, he's traveled the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something that something could
Been
be.
around the world and
Maybe he can find his title. We'll find that out. What's going to happen for Cyrus? Tune in next week. We'll all find out.
There's
Be there.
No telling. Yeah, be there.
Be there.
Action Building 261 Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia. Tickets go on sale at the door starting at 5 p.m. Tickets start at just $15, folks. Of course, kids 10 and under are free as always. Doors open at 7, bell time at 8, and we still have 4 massive matches to talk about. That's only the first half of the card, folks. Okay, I mentioned championships. We're going to be on the line next Friday night. We have 3 championship matches. Okay, count them 3. And we don't even have an SHW championship match on the card. Wow. We've got the JTS Legacy title. We've got the SHW Tag Team titles, and we've got the real IWTV World Championship all on the line. Let's talk about that one. You know, we were talking about Cyrus. I mentioned the confrontation the last 2 months with Cyrus and the Atrocity Cruel. So I don't know if that's what's on Cyrus's mind. We'll find out next week about that. But what we do know, the Atrocity Cruel will be facing the Action Wrestling champion, Adam Priest, who shocked everybody. And you know what? Here's the thing. We've seen Adam Priest wrestle at SHW before, so I don't think that was the part that was the most shocking. The most shocking was his mouthpiece, Matt Griffin, the promoter for Action Wrestling, showing up and in the Action Building at SHW. I mean, it was like hell froze over. Everybody went, wait a second.
Right.
And he had the Action title belt with him, and it showed up at SHW. It shocked everybody. But here's the thing that I found out. And if you watched earlier this week, there was a promo video released where Adam Priest had a bit of things to say to Cruel. So those that are unfamiliar, go back and watch that. But there's a lot of history between these two guys outside of SHW, and it's just spilling over now into SHW. And on top of that, the IWTV World Championship title will now come into play as well, and that will be on the line as Cruel defends against Adam Priest. Whew. What do we think? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Cruel and Adam, they're kind of tight. Am I right? That's what I'm gathering. They're tight, whether it's,
or they were, or
they were.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
they
not really
were.
sure at this
They
point.
have history. Let's just go safe and just say they have a lot of history, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. Did I hear the promo right that Adam was like, no, that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do what Matt was wanting me to. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
That's how it sounded, but at the same time, if I'm Priest and I knew that Cruel was pissed at me and coming after me, I would say anything like that too. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't my idea, I swear. So I don't know.
He did catch him from behind.
Yeah.
In the Rumble Jack, and he did eliminate him, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think you just dug your own grave there, buddy.
Can I just say real quick? And I know we already recapped the Rumble Jack a couple of weeks ago, but going back and watching it on IWTV, it just reminded me of this. The visual of Matt Griffin diving over the guardrail to escape. He like feet straight up in the air, like he went like dove headfirst.
Like somebody did, like he was supposed to catch him, but they decided not.
It's like if he was going to stage dive at a concert and everybody just moved out of the way. Anyways, I thought it was good.
You know, there's so much to unpack with this, and there was so much that was happening that night. But, you know, I mean, I can only liken this to certainly back in the early 2000s when Eric Bischoff walked on set of Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
and Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross talked about how they were there when Vince wished death on Eric Bischoff. I need you guys to understand Gary Lamb and Matt Griffin in the same building is noteworthy. Like, the building could have fallen apart because no one ever expected to see that. Then to see Matt Griffin in this building at an SHW event, you need to understand that there's
with a live mic
and the Action Championship.
GB,
go ahead.
I don't know if I heard this. It's a rumor, and it was on the internet, so it's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. But I heard that Booker T was backstage at the Rumble Jack, and when he walked by, he said, "Tell me I didn't just see that."
Listen, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I literally looked at that, and two things came to mind. The first was, am I really seeing this? And the second was, yowie wowie. I'm just in this space where I can't believe that this is actually happening in front of our eyes. I mean, fans may not understand, but we understand. First Friday is normally an SHW day, but it is war between SHW and Action. It is absolute war. Neither wants to move their shows for the other. It's putting fans, wrestlers in a very difficult and precarious position where some of them are having to choose. And so I don't know what Matt Griffin decided to do and who talked to him and who let the gate open so this guy can walk through and be in the building. And we clearly don't have much security in certain spaces, because I don't see Gary Lamb in his right or left mind allowing anything Action into his building. But it happened. And maybe it came at behest of, you know, the heads of IWTV. I don't know. But what I do know is, for that Action title to be in our building, and then the IWTV World title to be on the line, which is not foreign. This is crazy, guys. It's
so is
nuts.
Matt going to be there?
I don't know.
I mean,
Who
it's
knows?
second Friday. It's not first Friday. It's second Friday.
Who knows?
If he
knows?
does, I have got to get Gary and Mike quick, fast, in a hurry, because I would love to hear him come back to what anything that Matt Griffin
Again,
said.
I can't
he didn't
believe
address it.
He didn't say it. I just, yeah. That of all the crazy moments in the Rumble, Jack, that's the one that had me flummoxed. No doubt.
That's like the pesky neighbor coming in your front door and wiping their muddy feet on your carpet. What's up? No,
and you say nothing.
And you say nothing?
Well, Gary's had a full month to think about it.
Yes.
And so Jake the Snake's had a full month to think about it. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I don't know if he'll be there next Friday or not. But what I do know is that for the third time, the IWTV will be championship will be defended at an SHW show. Mm-hmm. And am I right? Is the third time?
It feels like the fourth.
Well, it was AC Mac or it was
David, the four-way,
and then the four-way, and then this one, right?
Mac didn't defend twice.
I think it was just his first
defend against David.
That was his first title defense.
Got it.
And then I think the four-way match that was impromptu a couple of months ago.
I remember that.
And then this will be the third one. I could be wrong. Somebody on
one, but somebody will figure it out.
He's gonna look it up.
Yeah, somebody in the Twitterverse or the Xverse.
That Rolodex of a brain he's got there. He's flipping straight.
My head is like.
That's the thing. Once you start
figuring it out.
When you ask me, I'm like, no. I'm counting on you to know. I'm asking you.
Right.
You're the Iron Mike today.
I'm trying to remember if I announced another match or not, but I mean, there's a lot.
We'll find out. Have no fear.
Anyways, all right. So I mentioned 3 championship matches. That IWTV World Championship match will be won. And earlier we touched on Chip Day defending the JTS Legacy Championship again. He was successful in his first title defense last month when it was an open challenge.
I am correct.
Oh, what was the fourth?
I don't get this stuff wrong. The fourth one was SHW54. It was AC Mac against Kyle Matthews. Mac was defending the IWTV World title.
Ah.
Well, there you go.
You're right. That
SHW43.
one slipped my mind. I guess because Kyle's been gone.
Yeah. That's why we have you here, GB.
It was last year's September show.
There you go.
The fourth time.
There you
How
go.
honored are we?
See, back in the day, they had the Professor Iron Mike Tenay. Well, here we have the Professor Gerard Bonner, and I. That's why we count on you to know all the little. Because man, these shows.
Anytime during the week, I'm throwing something out on our chat, and I'm like, "So when did this happen? Oh, time, date, place, who was sitting where, and who was wearing what."
There it is.
There you go.
And what music was playing? What was hot on the charts that year?
No, strangely enough, that same night was the night that All-Star Special was robbed of the tag team titles. So
yeah,
that's probably why you tried to forget about
that's
that whole
why
show.
I forgot about that show. I was putting it putting it
for
behind
that
me.
reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so earlier I touched on Chip Day defending his I mentioned Kyle Matthews. You just mentioned Kyle Matthews. Mm-hmm. So last month he defended he retained his title against Kyle Matthews. Yes. Well, he'll be putting the JTS Legacy title on the line once again, this time against former SHW champion Owen Knight. And you mentioned Owen Knight will be in the building. Will he be concerned with narcissism at all? We'll find out. I would hope that he would be focused on this title match. And he's been in kind of a weird headspace as of late. Yeah. And it got a little weird in the Rumblejack match itself, as there was like all of these mini reunions that were happening, whether it was Overkill, whether it was the New Era, whether it was just any of the SHW originals that came back. Yeah. And so there was like a little thing that happened between him and Danny Jordan. We were like, New Era reunion. And then it was like, well, that was short-lived. Right. So anyways.
Did he punch her or kick her? I can't remember.
He punched her.
One or the other. Yeah. He laid her out at one point. And anyways, now he's got a title shot for the JTS Legacy Championship. I'll spit it out. And it's going to be good, though. I can't wait. We'll see if Chip can keep that successful title defenses going here in his second title defense.
Y'all, these are my two bad boys.
I know. I was wondering.
These are my two bad boys.
All week. I was like, who's Diana gonna? I don't know.
Yeah, if Diana
Right.
had a faction, she'd have these two bad boys in her faction. This would be the bad boy club right here. I'm telling you, I love them both so much. And this is kind of breaking my heart, tearing me to pieces. But at the same time, my heart's full. I'm excited about this one. I want to see it. Let's go. You know, like mom pitting the babies together. I don't know. That's cruel. But either way, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I don't care who wins. I don't care who wins. This is going to be a fire match because they both look good with gold. I don't think Chip is ready to give it up. I know he's not ready to give it up. He's not been champion long enough to give it up. But Owen looks so good with gold, y'all. Either way, I could be a happy girl, but these are my boys. These are my boys. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. This has great potential with it, you know, and in this particular case, Owen is not having to carry someone else and worry about someone else in this space. This is kind of the situation that Owen wants to be in, where he only has to depend on himself. And in many cases, I might consider Owen a favorite. But Chip Day right now is super hot. And I've got to admit, if there was ever a dream match I wanted to see in SHW, it's this one. These two guys who really have been MVPs for the last couple of years for this company, you know, given all that they have done. You know, we will never forget Owen's amazing SHW championship reign. All that Chip Day did as a two-time tag team champion, and now the inaugural Jake the Snake Legacy champion. This is going to be one for the ages. I don't know how this goes. I really don't. But I can tell you, anytime you get two of the absolute best in the ring for a championship, you're going to get moments. And we're going to see some moments.
And their styles are different.
Their styles are different. They are unique, yet they both work for them. So how they will, it's going to be hard hitting, I think. It's almost going to be a game of chess. And I don't know who makes the move that gives them the advantage. This is going to be crazy. I can't wait.
This is going to be fun to announce. I'm just.
It could be kind of like when we see Chip face Kyle, when we're always thinking like it could be whoever makes the mistake first, or the first mistake rather. Right. And so we'll see. And
neither of them are making mistakes right now.
Right. So, exactly. So
I'm just hoping there's no outside interference, because this match needs to happen bell to bell.
Agreed.
Like it should.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Gonna be good. Can't wait. And we still have two big matches left to talk about. You mentioned Chip Day being a two-time tag team champ. Well, we have a tag team title match coming up. Okay. I gotta just collect myself here because we do have to talk about it. It's on the card.
I'm gonna go fix dinner.
I was gonna say maybe I'll just run real quick. GB, you could just take this one because I don't know if Diana and I really want to talk about it. Now, there's no disrespect to the hierarchy, because those guys are very deserving tag team champions, and I am proud to have them as our SHW tag team champs. Murder One, Joe Black. They were having a great match with All-Star Special last month, and it was rudely interrupted by those no good punks, Exotic Youth, and we didn't get a good clean finish to that matchup. However, I don't know if they slipped Jake the Snake a bribe or something, or if Jake the Snake, being a snake, saw that and thought, hey, those guys are snakes, my kind of guys. I don't know how it worked out, but now they've ended up getting a tag title opportunity, and you're going to see Pepper Bottom and Mosley going up against Joe Black and Murder One. Will All-Star Special be in the building? And if so, will they be returning the favor that Exotic Youth did last month and ruining their shot? I don't know. What do we think? What's going to happen?
What do we think? What do we think is going to happen?
What do we want to happen? What do you want to happen, Diana?
You already know.
I know.
Pepper Bottom's legs will be used as a toothpick. I already know that part.
Wow.
I just, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I'm still kind of flustered that those three peons were able to take down All-Star Special and the hierarchy at the same time. only because they were not expecting it, right? If they'd have been head on head, it ain't happening. And that's exactly what we got this time. Head to head, we know we know who's coming. We know this is gonna be brutal. This is gonna be brutal. This is gonna be a lot of the Cyrus versus Exotic Youth feel for me. That's the way I feel. And I don't know where Bryce is.
If
or
that's
what he's
the
gonna
case,
do.
if that's the case, then you just took me from not looking forward to this match at all to really looking forward to this match. if that's what's going to happen, and
that's
maybe
the way I feel.
Hopefully, it will.
Can we turn it into a Dark City street fight, please?
Oh wow!
Please.
Oh,
I mean, I think we are deserving of that.
Wow.
Please. I would love to see Pep and Mosey pushed around in a buggy with their legs sticking out.
You know, what gets so difficult about this is I somehow end up as the
why I don't know.
Objective guy.
You.
Nobody's telling you to do that, GP.
Well, here's what's getting scary right now. What's getting scary is I've had the chance to watch this team for the better part of a year, close to 2 years in varying places. And every time I think they are the underdogs, and every time I think that they are cruising for a bruising, they somehow come away standing on top. No one would have ever convinced me that All-Star Special versus the Hierarchy would end with both teams laying out, and of all people, Exotic Youth standing above them with the tag team titles. And then they come in and disrupt, Rumble Jack. I know what's about to happen.
I'm about to step out and go ahead.
I know it's about to happen. I think somebody somewhere is going to have to start putting respect on the name of Exotic Youth. And here's why. This is the division. This
is the real that's getting played all week.
I know. That's why I say I know it's going to happen. Here's the problem. The problem is it seems ludicrous for anybody in their right mind to want a tag team title shot with the Hierarchy as your tag team champions. Who would sign up to fight these guys, right? They're brutal. Nobody's going to beat them on a good day or even a bad day. But that's the thing about Exotic Youth. Exotic Youth looks at all of this stuff and says, we've got a plan. We know we're not the biggest team. We know we don't have the most muscles, but maybe, just maybe, their muscles are in their brains. Maybe they're finding a way somehow to outsmart all these other teams. Think about it. I think they were smart enough to outsmart Jake the Snake. I feel like Jake the Snake gave them this match as punishment. He said, hey, if you're going to disrupt these tag title matches, get in there, and your punishment is to get beat. But what scares me about this is they could find a way to create the darkest night in Diana Michelle's entire ring announcing career.
You're really telling the truth.
I mean, it could happen. Now, let's be clear. Beating Joe Black, beating Murder One, that doesn't happen very often, if ever, right? They've got the perfect combination of technicality and just sheer brutality to beat anybody. But here's the thing Exotic Youth has figured out. They figured out I don't have to be the most muscular. I don't have to have the most continuity. I just need to be 3 seconds better than you.
They figured out how to cheat.
Real question. That's the
and not get caught.
Question.
And not get caught.
If you didn't get caught, who can call it? And so
I'll call it. I'll call it cheating if I see it.
If I am the Hierarchy, I've got to prepare. Prepare because you know they're not going to come with a fair fight. You know they're not going to come 2-on-2. The third man is always going to be lurking no matter where he is and what he's doing. Hierarchy, don't get caught slipping on this one.
And again, like I mentioned, will our All-Star Special even be there that night? And if
will they even be
so,
a factor? If they show up, could they be a factor or would it be too late?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I could see them showing up just to get back at Exotic Youth for what Exotic Youth did last month and getting the match thrown out. So I don't know.
But how long would it take?
Yeah.
Exotic youth, they're a problem.
GB's favorite tag team.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm just they are
Diana, every time they have a match, I have to deal with this on commentary. And I get it. He's got to remain unbiased because I just can't stand those guys. But it's like,
but it's hard.
It pains me because we love each other. The three of us love each other. And to hear him having to semi-defend them, I'm like,
it's the blatant disrespect. I mean, they took Joe's beads.
They did.
You don't touch a man's beads.
You don't. But they laid him out.
That don't give you a right to take his beads.
Death wish.
You didn't earn those beads.
Death wish.
Maybe
those are bestowed on you.
Maybe they strategically realize that if we get Joe Black emotional, he'll get too emotional and he'll slip.
No, it's Zach Mosley has a death wish, is what it is.
It's usually the opposite when Joe gets emotional.
I'm just saying what they could be thinking. I didn't say it made sense.
Right. Well, it don't make sense because he was emotional in that dog collar match. And
listen, I don't ever want Joe Black mad at me. Never ever.
Hey, he'll always have a special place in my heart.
Hey, you mentioned Joe. King. You mentioned Joe Black in the dog collar match. That's the Joe Black I want to see show up and beat the crap out of Exotic Youth. So,
and then you got Murder One with him. I mean, please just make this a Dark Tuesday street fight. Just please. Who do I have to call? Who do I have to call?
Jake.
I mean, I know you know people.
Let me see if I can get Jake.
You know people.
All right. So those are our three big title matches that are going to be at the show. Like I said, IWTV World Championship, the real IWTV World Championship, the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship, and the SHW Tag Team Championships, all on the line next Friday, SHW54. And on top of that, we have a huge 6-man tag team match. The winner of the 2023 Rumblejack, David Ali. You saw him cut a promo at the end of the match after he won the match. The ring was surrounded by the end game. Todd Sexton, Nick Halen, and the SHW champion, Judeus. David Ali looked like he was outnumbered there 3-1, got on the mic anyway, started talking a little trash, and then all of a sudden he had some backup as Corey Hollis and Gunnar Miller hit the ring. And, hey, David Ali said, hey, I can do the math. There's 3 of us, 3 of you, 6-man next month. Let's do it. And the front office at SHW made it official, and I can't wait. It's going to be good, man. And David will have the opportunity, if they can win this match, to build some momentum into his title opportunity coming up at Still Here in October. So what do we think? 3-on-3.
Regardless, David's going to be facing the champion at Still Here.
Yeah.
I want to be happy about this matchup. I want to have faith in this matchup. I want to feel confident that David, Gunnar, and Corey. We talked about it with David. I know we did. We talked about it with David. And he has some good points. They're slipping my brain right now because I'm still stuck on my own feelings on this. I don't trust Corey. I don't. And wants to say he's not going to turn on Gunnar and David and join up with the end game and make it a whole big thing. This is going to be what I'm going to announce this match. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to just wait for the hammer to fall. I don't know. If they come out on top, awesome. Awesome. I have so many mixed feelings about this. I can't get past it. I don't know what it's going to take for me to get past it, but I don't trust Corey. I don't help.
You know, you mentioned help, and there's a part of me that's concerned because I'm like, couldn't David have found some more reliable help? I mean,
like, I don't know, new era guys or
that same night, you know, Overkill was there. I mean, if it's me, I granted, I'm sure he was glad to have help in the moment.
Yeah.
But if I saw Corey Hollis, I would have probably heeded the advice of a great legend and simply run, right? Run. That's what you do when you've got somebody like Corey Hollis, who after after the bulk of this calendar year, we still can't trust this man. He's done all that he can to try to make us feel comfortable, trusting him.
I want to.
You know, I mean, he said, hey, you know what? I'm doing this for my baby. I'm not going to roll with you, Judas. Like, I'm not going to do all these things. He feels like we should let him in, right? But the problem is, I don't trust this guy. I just don't. And I think David may have made an emotional decision in partnering with these two. I hope it doesn't come back to bite them. Granted, they don't need to be best friends. They don't need to be, you know, long lost loved ones. They don't need to be as tight as V3. You know, they don't need to be a family of Wyatts. They don't have to do any of that. All they have to do is get along long enough to beat these three guys. The problem is the end game really is thick as thieves. And they've proven that they'll do anything it takes to get a win. And I don't think Judas could go back to Todd Sexton and be okay if they lost. So this is going to be tough. I hope David feels really, really comfortable with what he signed himself up for, because while this could bring him momentum, it could also prove to be a setback because, you know, the end game would love nothing more than to wipe out all their competition.
Yeah.
And not have a match at Still Here 5.
Yeah.
So be careful, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be good. 7 huge matches there that we just talked about. And then, of course, we mentioned Cyrus will be making an appearance as well. It's going to be a great, great show. As we mentioned, when you're in between 2 big shows and people think, oh, this one's going to be a fill. No, not at SHW. This is just as big as every other show. It's going to be awesome. The cards are always stacked. You're going to want to bring your friends. If they've never been, this is one to bring them to. Like I said, tickets go on sale at the door, 5 p.m. next Friday at the Action Building, 261 Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia. Doors open at 7. Bell time is at 8. Oh, invite all your friends. Let's blow it out. Last month, we had such a great crowd, a huge crowd for the Rumble Jack. Let's keep that momentum going. Bring a huge crowd, and then another huge crowd to the anniversary in October. And let's just keep it going through the end of the year. It's going to be awesome. But before we go, guys, do you guys happen to have your phones on you, your cell phones?
Yep, sure.
Do.
How about we throw on some Fireflies as we
For sure.
head on out here?
Absolutely.
Throw up the Fireflies. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Was a sad news last week as we found that out, and then got a great show on SmackDown Friday, and then again on Raw, doing some tributes to Bray Wyatt. So he's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah, he does.
And we
Shout
hope
out
to see
Samantha for killing that.
Oh yeah, exactly. If you haven't seen it, go on WWE's social media, and you'll see some of the tributes from some of the WWE superstars, and a lot of good stuff there. But yeah, sad times. But you know what? He will live on in our memories. And what a legend he was. And hey, we hope to see you next week at the Action Building, where we will bring you this show live for the pre-show. But until then, this has been
SHW.
This is our wrestling.